All right, so let's talk about Micah Parsons. This is his second month being Defensive Player of the Month, and let's just go ahead and make him Defensive Player of the Year. I get it, TJ Watt, Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, those boys are unique and wonderful for what they do, but they are one-way players. Parsons can play off the edge, cover, and he's the motivator of this team, especially on the defensive side of the coin. When you look at his overall collective skill set, you can say, man, if the Cowboys decided to just keep this man right on the edge, man, he will already have 20-something sacks. Let's just be real with it. But the Cowboys utilize Parsons in so many ways. Now, this past month, he had 4 sacks in this month alone, right? Near interception. Boy, if he'd have had those interceptions, I get it, right? Cowboy Nation, we would put him a gold jacket on him, right? We'll just go ahead and put the gold jacket on him. But neither here nor there. Shout out to Parsons for being Defensive Player of the Month. And we can't leave Trayvon Diggs out, right? 11 interceptions, regardless of where you think he should be at as it relates to coverage and yards given up, which I said is subjective, and I'm going to stand firm on that, especially if you don't know all of the responsibilities, whether he's supposed to be in zone or man-to-man, or whether his responsibility to cover one side of the field. Look, so many gray areas in that. But the tangible evidence, the man got 11 INTs, regardless of what you may say about that. That's a difficult task. If it was easy, there would be multiple DBs with 10-plus interceptions every year, right? But for his name to be in the company of all of the great DBs out there that played this game and still playing this game is a unique and beautiful situation for the Cowboys to be in. Why you say that, Law? Because on one end, you got a dynamic DB, and then on the other, you got a dynamic linebacker who you're deciding whether or not you put him on the edge or you keep him at linebacker. And, let me knock on the door with DeMarcus Lawrence. Fantastic year for him. Although, he's fresher than everybody else, right? He had the foot situation, and even the Cowboys know it, so they keep him at limited even through the weeks of practice, right? He get that veteran treatment, which I can tell you guys, continue to give him that veteran treatment if he's going to play like what he's been playing on Sundays, right? Just remarkable altogether. Utilizing DeMarcus Lawrence, utilizing Parsons, and utilizing Diggs. Oh, where do all of this come from? Oh, it come from the guy by the name of Dan Quinn. Yeah, the guy that put the plan together for this defense, and I like what I'm seeing. Now, Jourdan Lewis is expected to be in full practice, I believe, for the remainder of this week, and it is a toss-up whether or not he will play this weekend. Well, one thing that I can tell you guys, the way Boss Man Fat played and the way Anthony Brown played inside the nickel there or the slot, his team make the necessary adjustments just like that on the defense. And I like what I'm seeing. And knowing that we getting our reinforcements as relates to depth purposes, and this team is pretty much heading in the right direction. Shout out to Charles Woodson for breaking down Parsons and the reason why he should be the Defensive Player of the Year as well. I got to show some love to a good old Charles Woodson.
My defensive NFL Player of the Year right now, Micah Parsons. Why? Because Micah Parsons can do everything that these guys can do and more. I can use him in the blitz, of course. Down the field, I can use this guy in coverage. I feel like if I put him at safety, he'd be one of the top safeties in the game. Nobody has the closing speed that he has, sideline to sideline. I like Micah Parsons. I think he is the nucleus of this Dallas Cowboys defense and quickly turning into a leader on that team. Micah Parsons, my Defensive Player of the Year, 2021.
He knows what he's talking about, right, on the defensive side of the coin. And shout out to Prime Time, too, for speaking glowingly of Diggs. You look at all of these things, Cowboy Nation, making the adjustments, Dan Quinn being in the right place for this year to elevate Parsons. Oh, my goodness. And Trayvon Diggs. Just balling out, baby. This team can go a long way. Cowboy Nation, this team is doing what it needs to do. Right? Now, to give you guys some offense talk, Tyron Smith. What to do with Tyron Smith, right? He's near return. I think today they're going to put the bubble wrap on him through practice and everything, but he's near return. Would you like for him to play against the Cards, or would you like to stretch this thing out and say, hey, we need you, baby, for the playoff time. We need you for the playoff time. But should we look into this thing and say, all right, we looked at the last time you was playing and you came back off of your injury, the Raiders game, you looked a little sloppy, but he had to get in rhythm. And even when Tyron Smith is at his sloppy stage, right, Cowboy Nation, he plays better than most of the tackles that's in the National Football League, believe it or not. But it's going to take him a game, right? And it took him literally at least one game to get back in rhythm. So would you rather to see him get back in rhythm against the Cards, or use the final game like the Eagles game and say, okay, get back in rhythm so that when playoff time hit, you'll be ready to go? Let me know of that. Or, rip the Band-Aid off, throw him out there with the Cards and say, hey, let's go. Chandler Jones is no one to sneeze at. He's one of the better pressures in the NFL, sack leaders, especially. I believe since Chandler Jones been in the NFL, no player got more sacks, collectively speaking, than him. So you're still going to have a full plate to eat when you see that guy on the opposite side, regardless. And whether you have Terrence Steele out there or Ty Nsekhe, you really, really, really want to see if your team is really fully to go, especially against a playoff caliber team. Now, far as the Cowboys for the 2021 season, I want to know your thoughts, Cowboy Nation. Should the Cowboys be looking at this as a must-win game? Should this be a game like a measuring stick game, right? Or should they look into this situation and say, all right, if a player needs to be rested, we can rest them. And then looking into the second game versus the Eagles, should you have that same approach? Or you should look at it and say, hey, like my brother from another mother, the dog, the beast that he is, Micah Parson. He said, we ain't alligators, because when the alligator eat, he gets satisfied. He get paralyzed in that state of saying, okay, I'm full, I don't need to move. Or should he be like that lion? I'm always hungry. Should we have that mentality saying, hey, we feasting on birds, baby, this weekend. Oh, and the next weekend, we feasting on some more birds. We got a bird diet over here. Should that be the process of the mindset that this team embodies? I need to know your thoughts. But once again, I'm going to declare right now, the NFL need to look into this and say, hey, Parsons, there's a rookie. You are the defensive player of the year. You are, because you can do it all. You can play safety, linebacker, and edge rusher. Phenomenal. Post me your thoughts, post me your concerns. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. Let's go.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I want me some glory hole.
This is Sparta!